We are joined by the legend, and I'm going to go ahead and say you are a legend because you are indeed one of my absolute favorite guitar players. We are joined by Kenny Wayne Shepherd. Kenny Wayne Shepherd, you just have a gift when you pick up that guitar. I got to ask you, first age of picking up that guitar, what was it?
Well, it kind of depends. I mean, I was playing around on these little toy guitars when I was like 4 or 5 years old that my grandmother got me, and but I got my first real electric guitar at age 7, and that's kind of when I got serious about playing.
And I have to say, because I've been in radio for many of decades, and there's one fact about you that I love because I'm a radio personality. Your music love or shape of you shaped your love for music because your dad was a
Disc jockey, yeah, or he was everything. He was program director, general manager. He did the morning show. Sometimes he did the afternoon drive. But yeah, I grew up around radio stations my whole life and going to concerts, and that definitely was heavily influenced my love for music, and also my ability to put on a concert. Knowing how to like segue between songs and not leave a bunch of dead air. It definitely has molded kind of the way that I've entertained people over the years.
I've loved that. When I first heard that about you, I thought that was just so fascinating because of being a radio personality. And it really does, get you kind of that access backstage. Probably, you probably had some lanyards and backstage. Is there somebody that stood out in your career? Let's keep it on the same lines of your father being in radio that he took you to see or that you got to see that really you just kind of went, I got to do this for my career. I want to be a guitar player.
Well, the obviously the infamous story is when I met Stevie Ray Vaughan when I was 7 years old and saw him play for the first time. My dad actually promoted that show, so it was his festival called the Louisiana Music Festival, and so I got to go backstage and meet Stevie Ray and all the bands that were playing, and but obviously he left a huge mark on me, and that was really the what lit the fire inside of me to want to learn how to play guitar and to really want to specifically learn how to play with that passion and that fire that he played with.
We hear about people in businesses, whether they're in banking or they're an athlete, that they're a total pro. One thing that always comes to mind, and I mean this in the most sincere compliment, you are a total pro. You show up, you give it you 110%. You are gracious and kind to others. I've seen you several times live. I saw you with the Jim Irsay band at Lucas. You just show up. You're a total pro. Where did that come from? Because you have to have had someone that inspired you along the way.
Well, I think it's probably my family. It's like the grounding and the foundation that my family instilled in me and my sisters and just in general our family. We're kind of salt of the earth, hardworking kind of family, and like family values is really important. And I was raised with the idea that it's like I'm just I'm like a drop in the bucket. You know what I mean? I don't think that I invented anything or created any of this. I'm just here to play a specific role and do that to the best of my abilities. And so that's, I suit up and show up every day with that kind of attitude and, being grateful for the opportunity that I have. Cause, it's not lost on me how crazy it is to have the opportunity to play music and entertain people for a living. It's literally like winning the Powerball or something. Compared to the amount of people that get to do it versus the amount of people that would love to do it. It's a huge difference.
Okay, and you do have some shows coming around kind of the area that I am on the air in, and that would be the Taft Theater in Cincinnati, 92.5 The Fox. Super excited to have you join in on the fun there. Now, Noah, let's talk about Noah and his connection with Cincinnati. Noah Hunt, who of course is just an amazing vocalist. So that'll be a pretty special show with him being from that area, right?
Well, yeah. Well, what's great is right now we're touring and we're doing the 25th anniversary of my second album, Trouble Is. That also happens to be the record that Noah joined my band with, right? So, like on my first album, I had a different singer. At this point in my career, I wasn't comfortable singing lead vocals in my own band. So I kind of needed somebody else to do that. And so we were in a situation, we were looking for a new vocalist for the band. And that's when we auditioned a bunch of people, and Noah was one of those people. And that's when we found him. And we went right into the studio and recorded my second album, Trouble Is. And he's been with me now for 25 years, you know, and even though I've grown into a lead vocalist of my own, you know, we kind of share the vocal responsibilities now. He's definitely a member of the family. He's part of the band, has been now for a quarter century. And we're doing this tour, and it's kind of taking me back because in recent albums and in recent tours, you know, I've been kind of singing about half the songs and half the show, if you will. But now that we're doing the Trouble Is anniversary tour, Noah sang that whole record. So it's kind of like taking me back to the days before I sang any lead vocals, and I'm just getting to play guitar almost the whole show all night long. And you know, that's my first love, is playing guitar. So it's fun, and it's great to have Noah. He's such a great singer. And you know, he had an incredible voice. He came right into a situation, in a brand new situation when we hired him, and really killed it, and has been doing it now for 25 years.
And celebrating that 25th anniversary of that project, and also in Brown County, Nashville, not Tennessee, but Nashville, Indiana. I don't know if you've played there yet, but what a beautiful venue that's going to be as well for you. When you go to these cities, what's your favorite part of it? What do you explore the cities when you stop? You've got quite a lengthy tour list coming up for 2023.
Yeah, we try to get out. It kind of depends on the schedule, you know, as to when we actually arrive that day and how much time we have before sound check. But certainly everybody in the band, we're all kind of foodies. So we look for, you know, great local places to get some killer cuisine. That's kind of priority number one. And then, you know, we'll wander out. I mean, depending on the location of the venue, just on foot. Some guys carry bicycles and stuff, but we try and get out and see the local area as much as we can.
Brown County, by the way, is beautiful in Nashville, Indiana. It is an absolutely lovely spot, and a lot of great little places to eat there. So I'm sure that you'll find a good spot near that venue. And of course, the Taft Theater in downtown Cincinnati. I'll recommend Jeff Ruby's place. Have you been there? Jeff Ruby's is amazing.
Yep, it is good.
Put
Nice.
Noah on the horn and have him call Jeff Ruby and say, hey, it's your Cincinnati guy, Noah. We're coming with the band. They've just moved into a new spot in downtown Cincinnati, fairly close to the Taft Theater. So he's reinvented his restaurant within the last year. So it's pretty spectacular. So hopefully you make your way there. Somehow, somewhere, some way. I get that right? In that order. Wow. I'm going to tell you what right now. If I have to say a favorite song of mine, of yours, it's that. The first time I heard it, the first time I played it on the radio, I just absolutely loved it. Is it easy for a Kenny Wayne Shepherd to pick a favorite song of Kenny Wayne Shepherd's?
No, that's like picking, you know, your favorite child, you know, because like I created these songs. And so everyone kind of has a special place for me. I do go through phases, like when we put new records out and we have new material, which by the way, we have a new album that's going to come out later this year. But, you know, it's like, you know, that will kind of evolve. You know, I'll kind of hone in on one song for a while, and that'll kind of be my favorite. And then it changes over time. And it certainly changes with the live concert experience, because, you know, when you do a record, certain songs in the studio might, you know, be really exciting, but then when you go on tour, other songs kind of can rise to the occasion and become more exciting because of the way they evolve in the live concert. You know, a lot of things are unexpected in that way, and so certain songs can take on a whole new life in the live setting.
Okay, you just mentioned kids. You got 6 of them, and I know you got a lot of guitars. Those are probably your prized possessions, if you will. The children, 6 of them, and then the guitar collection outnumbers, I'm certain, the children. What's it like being a dad of 6 kids? I have a 15-year-old daughter, and I think your oldest is maybe 15, and a daughter as well. Her challenge is there. How's fatherhood as a rock star?
Well, it's great. I mean, my kids don't think I'm anything special. It's really funny, actually. And, but watching them kind of realize what I do, like when they're really young, and seeing the moment where all of a sudden they're standing on the side of the stage and it just all clicks for them and they see all these people coming to see daddy play guitar is a pretty amazing moment when they finally realize what's actually going on. But you know, for me, it's all about balance, you know, because I have a commitment to my fans and my band to continue putting out music and going out on tour and playing the music for the people. But I certainly have a commitment to my family as well. And so it's been all about balance for me and trying to make sure that I fulfill both of those to the best of my abilities and not neglect either one of them. And so I think we've gotten pretty good at it since we've been having children over the years. We've kind of honed in on how much travel is too much travel, and you know, and vice versa, when you know how it affects the brand and the band as well. So I think we've got a pretty good balance going on right now.
And again, I repeat, total pro. Balance is a huge part of that. Again, a new project working on. Want to tell me a little bit about that very quickly?
Well, so this is a record. So we actually have a lot of things in the pipeline. I got like 2 albums almost worth of brand new material that's already recorded, ready to be released. We just haven't picked the release date yet. But all new stuff. And it kind of picks up where the last album left off, The Traveler, which we were touring for the Traveler album in 2019 and the beginning of 2020 until everything shut down. And so we had just finished all of these new songs at that point, and I've just been holding on to it because it didn't make sense to release it in the middle of the pandemic when we couldn't go out and do shows. So, you know, 2 albums worth of new material coming out at some point in the near future. Then we have like, we went in the studio and back in October and did this really kind of outside the box rock and roll cover album where we picked songs like from the 80s, maybe some from the 90s, like 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s. And, you know, ones that you wouldn't necessarily expect us to do. Like, you know, the goal is to go, wow, Kenny Wayne Shepherd is playing that song and it doesn't seem to make sense. And then you listen to it, you go, wow, it actually works really well. So, and that was just like a fun thing to do, but that'll come out too, because it really turned out really well. And then we have like, by the time we're done with the 25th anniversary of the Trouble Is tour, we'll be knocking on the door of the 30th anniversary of my first album, Lead River Heights. So we're thinking of doing something, maybe go back in, re-record that first album, and then do a similar tour where we play that whole album live in concert for the first time as well. So there's a whole lot of things going on, and you know, it's a great time to be making music again and playing for the people.
We are so grateful that you took the time to chat with us today for the shows that are kind of coming in our region, not only Cincinnati, but Nashville, Indiana, and Brown County, Anderson, Indiana as well. Really great theaters and spaces. And you started this at a young age. You're still doing it. You're raising kids. You're a spectacular guitar player. And you've spent a few minutes with us. And that really means a lot to us, Kenny Wayne Shepherd. Wishing you the best on this tour. Looking forward to seeing you and Noah in Cincinnati at the Taft Theater. All of the details. Where can people find out information about you? It's got to be pretty easy. The site and the social media. What's the story on that? If you can plug that for me.
Yeah, you know, we're on Instagram, Facebook. Those are the two primary. That's where we're most active. And then, you know, the website is kennywayneshepherd.net or kennywayneshepherd.com. Or if you have like, sometimes people can't spell Shepherd, like, cause there's like 5 different ways to spell it. So we also have kwsband.com. So whatever works for you.
Covered it all, even for the dummies who don't know how to spell it, but everybody learn it because listen, I think they already have. You're one of the best. And thank you again so much for your time today talking to us. Have a great time out on the road. Would you do me a favor and tell Noah that Laura Steele said hello, and we'll look forward to seeing him in Cincinnati.
You got it. We'll see you there.
All right, Kenny, thanks so much.
Thanks.